Hello and welcome to the Jobs Project. Today we got a great topic. We're going to reflect on everything that we have learned throughout the year, especially those of us or, those of you that are, searching for a job. Maybe it's time to just reflect, try something new for the fall, or maybe you're one of those individuals right now that wants to do some temp work, right? Get a little extra money in your pocket. What's the best way to look for temporary work possibly, and how to land that temporary job. I think that's great. I remember when I was a manager for J.C. Penney, and I was also in HR for Macy's. That was a lot of fun when we got to hire our temporary workers, and we hired a lot of individuals, and they had a lot of fun doing it. Some of them would come back every year, every season, to do the work. So really excited about that. But before we do, I'd like to provide some updates. So I'm going to share my screen here. All right, I just want to provide some updates on our programs. Really, really exciting updates we have here. So we are now accepting applications for the Health and Wellness 360 Rise Up program. So we're thrilled to announce that applications are now open for the Health and Wellness program. Basically, what we've done is we had created a partnership with Narcolepsy Life Academy. And I put their link in the chat, so check that out. A great program because this is a 26-week program, not only around teaching people with narcolepsy and IH better health habits, but this person also has narcolepsy, which I think that's just great. So there's a lot of great things to learn in this program, everywhere from just mental health, mindfulness, physical fitness, some nutrition, just a lot of great stuff. So I encourage you to, apply. Spots are limited and they are filling up. You have until October 31st to do that. And the program starts November 6th. And also, what I really love about this program, especially for somebody like me, I always hesitated doing these things because I didn't want to overcommit. Especially because, we only have so much time in the day when we're so exhausted, right? What I love about this program is if you miss a session, it's okay because you get to rewatch it. So there's always going to be a way for you to catch up, and it's all facilitated through our private network on Circle. So you'll get to be a part of that and use that technology, and get to meet other people, especially if you've never met somebody with narcolepsy before. I met my first person with narcolepsy about 2 years ago, and I've had it ever since I was 5 years old. So I highly recommend this program. It's amazing. People are already taking it outside of us. This is the first time that we are sponsoring people to be in this program. But there are people out there right now that are paying their own way. But we're covering you, if you go through our program. All right. So the next thing is the JAWS project. This is really another really exciting program we've made an update to. We are now offering courses through Udemy. We have access to 25,000 courses, about 500 also that are for individuals that are trying to get a certification. So these are certification prep courses, about 500 or so of those. And again, seats are filling up. They rotate every 90 days. And we're already having people in there completing, these courses. So highly encourage you to check this out. I also put that link in the chat. So please go ahead and apply for that. And then also we have our November Nap Chat. Monday, November 3rd is going to be a great topic. And that's going to be at 6:30 Eastern time. And that is going to be Cecilia Holland. She's also one of our brand ambassadors. And she's going to be talking about, what it looks like to advocate for yourself. She's 62 years old, newly diagnosed within the year. And her diagnosis actually is, IH, leaning towards narcolepsy or showing symptoms of narcolepsy. So really fascinating. But she is a social worker. So what I really find fascinating about her story also is the fact that she has always advocated for others, but when it came time, she didn't know how to advocate for herself. So she had to kind of, get all that going. And now here she is advocating for herself, having to take a leave of absence for work. So it's going to be a really, really great conversation. And then the other two things I just want to show, we now have a ADA accommodation checklist. So of course, hey, this is a JAWS project, right? And there's going to be times where you might have to take a leave of absence, and that's okay. That's what it's there for. And maybe you got an employer that provides short-term disability, right? And that's great, and take advantage of it. But you want to be able to know, how do you process that? Go through the process. And this right here, this checklist is great. It's 2 pages or 3 pages worth of just some great information on the process. We also have a travel guide. So yeah, we're really excited to announce we did partner with the TSA and created a patient toolkit. So this is our toolkit right here. Actually, we have somebody on the call right now, Solomon Briggs. He was part of that, one of our other volunteers. Actually, he's on our outreach committee, and he provided input on this. So he was one of those individuals that helped put this together. And now this is actually in the TSA hands. Now, of course, we do understand that, there's a government shutdown. So in the near future, do look forward where your TSA agents will actually have accesses. They will know about cataplexy and be able to react differently, more in a more positive manner than assume you're on something, right? Those are the stories we're hearing, is that they assume, right? Or even airport staff that's outside of TSA, if they see somebody acting a certain way, they automatically assume the worst. So it's great that we're able to get this out there, get some individuals to have more understanding when, our people in our community are, just need, some compassion. All right. So with all that said there, and of course, just last thing, I did add those 2 documents in the chat. So please grab those, feel free. But other than that, all right, Sam, the floor is yours, my friend.
Thank you, Alejandro. Great to be back again here as we approach the fall season. It's a great topic, one of my favorite times. And you said the deadline is October 31st. I was saying, are you trying to play a game Halloween Day, huh? I think for the health and wellness, I think the deadline was 31st, right? They're Halloween. So,
yep, it is.
right. Yeah, Thanksgiving is approaching, Christmas is approaching. Great time for people to relax with family and other things, but at the same time, are you able to see what we are on? I can't tell.
Yep.
You're able to see AI-powered strategies for fall?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Okay. So this is a time I can tell you as a recruiter, and like I said, this is my favorite holiday time, because this time a lot of recruiters relax themselves. They say, yeah, it's the end of the year. I'm going to take it easy. Nobody's going to hire. But I can tell you, when I was an agency recruiter, one of the companies, I was very successful. I look forward to November and December because I had clients like Sirius Satellite and those people, and they hire more people during that time because they want to do promotions and that. So same goes for the job seekers. In fact, last week I was talking to somebody. She said, "You know what? I have only 2 more weeks to find a job. After that, I'm going to take it easy between November, December, and January, and I might come back in February." I said, "Great. Uh, you can do what you want to do, but this is a time you don't know." Because every job seeker is like you, thinking that they want to take it easy and they don't want to apply for jobs. That means less competition for fewer jobs that you are competing against. And then, luck be it, you might find that job that you've been searching for 6 months. Suddenly it now falls in your lap because you are the best candidate that applied for the job. The other secret, Alejandro, you can either, if you're in charge of the budget, when we worked at an agency, I had my sales guy come and say, "Sam, I need somebody by December 1st if I can, but we will get the purchase order for next year. But we need to give them a candidate that they can hire. Corporate budgets. Companies are finalizing their budgets and rushing to fill positions because if they don't use the budget, it will go away, right? So either they've worked with agencies like us and give us that opportunity to fill that position, or they will try to fill that headcount so that they can use that budget number for next year. Q4 hiring surges in the retail sector, as Alejandro was mentioning earlier, your retail sector. How do you find those jobs is with the new AI, what are you going to do? And some of these jobs are going to be in person. AI may not be able to help you there, but the one thing that AI can help you do is find that manager or that company and directly reach out to them, right? Instead of you reaching out. Discover hidden opportunities. You use AI to find jobs that match your values and accommodate your needs, right? Craft winning applications, create standout resumes and cover letters with intelligent AI assistants. And more importantly, master the follow up. This is where I see a lot of the job seekers. I just heard somebody mention here on this call, I have not heard back. I'm sure they followed up, but how did you follow up is also very important. What are some of the things that you did during the follow-up process is something I try to teach people when they have an interview with the hiring manager. Send a follow-up email saying thanking them for the time. If it's a recruiter, thank them for the time. It doesn't. And with AI, you should be able to do some of those things very, very easily and sustain your momentum. Even on the challenging days, this is where the discipline, grit, and those things that we spoke about last time comes into play. Even the days that you don't feel like getting up and doing it, if you do it for that hour or this one, that will give you results. It might look like a climb, but I'm sure you'll find that position. ChatGPT, Google, Gemini, Claude, Perplexity, DeepSeek can analyze job description, identify roles that align with your skills and workplace accommodation needs. Like I just told you, resume optimization, AI tools customize your resume. One of the things I'm going to tell you, which has changed in the last 3 months, and again, I think it was Solomon who mentioned you had an AI interviewer who did an AI interview. And that's something that even before the resume is sent, they are analyzing whether this resume was written by ATS, not ATS, by ChatGPT or Gemini or any of those other things. So you need to humanize that resume so that your ChatGPT score is as low as possible, telling them that you didn't just spit out whatever ChatGPT gave you, right? How do you customize it? And what I've started to teach people is look at every job and tell ChatGPT, we will do that exercise here. Tell ChatGPT to don't hallucinate, don't take facts. I understand you are an expert, you have learned from so many sources, but I want you to use only my data. Don't go and create a benchmark data that you think is good metrics that you can put on my resume. Use only my data and give it. And I want you to write the resume in the KPI format, right? Just by tweaking a little bit about how you ask it to write, it changes the whole ball game. What is a KPI? Key performance indicator. I reduced the cost of by using this one. Your photographic budget went down by 30%. I improved efficiency by 25%, right? You want to use those numbers which people want to see. That is something. I think we might have discussed this in one of the earlier sessions. When you ask ChatGPT to find the top 3 voices in your industry and tell them, if I'm faced with this problem, how would they have solved it? And if it gives you an answer, it is a mixture of three people's persona. So you're not plagiarizing from anything, right? If you say, write the story like Shakespeare, then you're plagiarizing Shakespeare's writing skills. And they might. But if you say, I want to find the top three voices in this arena and use those three voices, right? I know Jane likes Tony Robbins. If you take Tony Robbins, if you take what is that guy's name? Gary Vee, and one other, Kane. If you take all three people and say, how would they have dealt with this problem, that you will find. Cover letter follow-up is another thing that you should be able to do much better. Finding jobs that fit your life has, I think in the next 1 year, it might get to a point where it might be able to find the patterns, which companies are better with IH and narcolepsy and any other disability that they foster to and cater to. When you join those companies, it becomes easier. Um, Alejandro just gave us two great examples, and Solomon, he mentioned that you are part of that airport. A lot of people don't know what this is, right? And they were not. So that I just went and scanned that QR code, Alejandro, and I just read on my phone what that really meant. And I can tell you, you can take this and really make it much better and much more. What is this catalepsy medicine info card? It's a free digital medical awareness card, right? That you can carry on your phone, print out, or keep with your ID. And somebody comes, you might be able to show them, hey, here's my card. This is what I need. And it might even tell the bystanders what they need to do, right? If it might save you. Otherwise, they'll arrest you. They'll take you to the cops and all those immigration, and you're on the ban list to travel. So I think in the next 6 months, 1 year, I'm sure that this is going to find the companies that are going to be. This is where I think you can do a much better job in terms of analyzing the job postings, tailor your resume, write your story. It mentions write your story, right? Don't just use generic terms, write your story. The one word that I keep telling people today is whatever you write on that, you need to own it. You need to talk about it with a passion. Otherwise, somebody knows. And as a recruiter, I can tell you when I talk to candidates, I know whether what they've written. Sometimes I flat out ask them, hey, did you really write this resume? Why are you not able to tell me what is on your resume? I didn't ask anything outside. I just asked the job that you did on the last thing, and I just asked you that question, and you are not able to answer that question. Or did you copy this from somebody else? Preparing for interviews. I'll show you something funny that how you prepare for interviews and how you can do a much better job. Tracking applications like a pro. You can create a command center for you, schedule smart follow-ups. I think this is one of the things that, Alejandro, I'm going to work on. So I can create a template and I can create a document for people to use this, because I think this helps them. If they land a job, it will help them. While looking for a job, it will help them, and it will give them a center place for them to go and start following and doing what they need to do and organizing themselves, right? Um, and in there, you can say you can want to build genuine connections on LinkedIn. That is something that I've been trying to teach more and more to people. It's not just applying for jobs, it's also seeking out that 2 or 3 people. So it's funny, somebody met at a networking event and I told her, and she reached out. Fortunately, unfortunately, that lady is the hiring manager today, right? When you do that, sometimes you might end up that way. But if the hiring manager liked this person, I'm sure she's going to end up getting that job. If, for example, the hiring manager said, I Alejandro was working with me 10 years ago, and I don't think he's this king. But she doesn't know that your skill progressed, you're doing what you need to do, and you have become a different person. But if they remember that 10 years back, Alejandro did this, I don't think he's the right fit. And that is the danger of when you call somebody and you happen to find that hiring manager who's hiring for the position, you are in a soup. And she sent a thank you note and she asked me, should I clean my thing? I said, please leave it alone, do the interview, and if you get something, here's the follow-up email that you can send her after that interview is done, right? Again, maintaining momentum on low energy days. The jobs that we were talking about, Alejandro, JC Penney, you can ask them, I can only work these schedules. You know that is your high energy time, right? You don't need to tell them you have this, or because sometimes seasonal jobs, they're scared and they don't want to. You can say, you know what, this is the window that I think I can come and help you. Here is from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. or 3 p.m. I can work. You can schedule whatever is a high energy time. You can set micro goals, apply to 2 jobs per week instead of 10, prepare materials so high energy days, use AI to automate repetitive tasks, celebrate small wins consistently. You may not have, Solomon, you may not have heard from them, but you felt good, you did well, you you did your best. That's a celebration in itself. Yes, did you land it? Not yet. And again, one of the things, I do not know if you see that a lot. I've seen that happen in IT a lot. There are a lot of fake people calling the job seekers and telling them to pay them money to find them jobs after they, oh, I think I can get you. And they do an interview and they say, hey, if you pay me $1,000, I think I can get you this job. The next thing you need to do is hang up the phone and run, right? You don't want to pay somebody $1,000 or 2,000 or 5,000. It happened to somebody recently that I know. Work with your energy research companies during alert times, save easier tasks for lower energy moments, keep AI prompts ready to quick use. This is the other part that I think you should all be doing. Create a cheat sheet for yourself that is, you think, oh my God, I can't believe this prompt. I created cheat sheets for myself through the wazoo, right? I have never used, if I know that I'm using this prompt multiple times, I've saved it in some place and I've used it, right? That's something that saves me time. Using AI to tailor my resume helped me land 3 interviews in 1 week. I focused my energy on preparing instead of formatting. Breaking my job search into small, manageable tasks made all the difference. I found a remote role that represents my need for flexibility. These are all real cases of people who have given testimonials on the web or on LinkedIn that I have picked up scouring for somebody who has gone through. So it has absolutely helped them. Your fall success action plan this week, this is something I've been telling people again and again. Choose 1 or 2 tools that you are getting comfortable with and become an expert in those tools. Eventually, you will be able to do something more about and do. Update your master resume. Keep that master resume somewhere. It's like your masterpiece. Don't change and take that resume and tweak it for the job, not the overall the resume, just the bullet points. Change the order of significance that you need for that particular job. You can change that. Research 5 target companies that you want to work with. I've asked so many people who meet me during networking, tell me the company that you really want to find a job with. And you tell me 5 companies, I'm sure as you just said it in public, they have at least one or two people who might know one or two people in those companies. They might make an introduction for you. They might ask for that. And the other thing that lady asked me yesterday is exactly this. Sam, I only put my open to work that the recruiters can find me. I said, great, that's your choice. But if you're looking for a job, why wouldn't you not announce it to the world that you're looking for a job? Why would you want it to and only hire? If you're in a job and trying to hunt for a new job and you don't want to put that out, thinking that your boss might find it, right? And yeah, in that case, just send it to the recruiter, not to anybody else. But if you're in the open market, I absolutely will use that badge because that badge gives me, I am a recruiter. I use that badge in my search criteria, right? You do not know how those things are used. Next week, apply 2 to 4 jobs using AI tailored materials, set up a tracking system, connect with 3 people in your field. By year end, complete 8 to 12 quality applications, schedule informational interviews, and celebrate your progress. Consistency beats perfection. You got this. And I will show you one prompt. Alejandro, I know you have written a lot of stuff for me. I'm going to use you as an example if you're okay with it.
Always fine by me, my friend.
LinkedIn. And let me open my AI tool here. LinkedIn, LinkedIn, LinkedIn. Live TV sometimes. Any questions? You can jump in. I will answer those questions as you guys are as this is firing up. Why am I not getting you, Alejandro?
ALEJ.
ALE, ALEJ. It should come first. Why? What?
Yep. NDRO. There I am. I mean, you just got a lot of people.
I have too many Alejandros.
Yeah, you do. There should only be one, Sam.
So here is something and this is something I'm sure you use ChatGPT for this, but this may not give us, but I'm going to also cut and paste from your emails that you sent me. If it is in the natural style, it gives me. I know this is a complex prompt. You don't need to, I can share this with you later. So remember we were doing the disk profiles, Alejandro?
Say that again.
We were using the disk profiles. I used to use a tool,
Yeah,
Humantic, to find out.
yeah.
And I said, you know what? I want to, I'm bored by using just Humantic. There's so many other ones, disk profile, Big Five, MTDVI, Anagram. I want to see how this plays out. And here is this. That's why I say I use cheat sheets. And here's my cheat sheet. If it opens up. Let me copy it here so that. So anything I learn, I try on myself first, because what better way to judge whether it's giving the right results or not? And Alejandro, copy. Let's see what it does. So here's your profile, Alejandro. This person presents a disciplined, structured, and intrinsically motivated, a mix of operational excellence and empathy. The narrative shows a steady climb from humble beginnings to leadership in HR and retail, which suggests high conscientiousness, strong grit, and a growth-oriented mindset. Their tone is deliberate, professional, and values-driven, signaling emotional maturity and genuine care for people rather than self-promotion. They balance process optimization with human connections, a dual focus that is rare and powerful in HR. The writing indicates someone who thrives on bringing order to complex systems, improving efficiency, and making people work lives better through structure and empathy. Did it get
Yeah, it
you?
did. It hit. It did. That's right on the money.
Behavioral indicators are language, frequent use of structured phrasing, operational efficiency, process optimization, digital transformation, interpretation, analytical, process-driven thinker, high conscientiousness. Tone, measured, professional, modestly proud, balanced ego, grounded confidence. Career arc from janitor to manager to HR leader, resilience, humility, self-discipline, growth mindset. Focus on systems, mentions high-res, onboarding, compliance, training, systematic and data-driven, like improving workflows, human-centered focus. That is it. And your DISC profile, you type 1, the reformer, principle, perfection-driven values, doing things right is very, very strong. Confidence level is 80. So it is pretty. So it gives me in all formats, it gave me about you. If
Wow.
I take an email from you and give a sample writing that you wrote or an email that you wrote on some crisis and you sent it to me, or you're in pressure and you want to see how I work, or you ask me to for something when you are under pressure, you wrote something. If you add those things, it becomes 90, 100% confident.
Okay.
So I don't need the tool to find out about somebody's personality.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a couple of emails that exchange between you and them, and if it's not chat GPT written, the better. This is what I have done using this, how I prepare candidates for interviews. This is how I use it to, when everybody else is just using it, I've taken it to the next level, right? Just because I'm playing with it every minute I'm up, I'm playing with it, I'm tweaking it, I'm using my experience, and that's where that experience comes into play. And we did a poll this afternoon with, I was preparing for my keynote speaking on Friday, which is with PMI New Jersey. And Alejandro, I know the lady who was a project manager. She asked me to remind, I forgot her name. She presented once. She was a project manager.
Oh, Teresa. Yes, yes, Teresa.
Yeah, just let her know that there is a keynote career fair for project managers on Friday, and she can go register on PMI New Jersey, um, and to listen into some of the conversations and things like that.
Okay, cool.
Right. So in that poll, we asked people, what have you used in AI? Right? Have you used AI, and how much of it are you using it for? And somebody, about 75% of that room said that they are using AI, and they thought that they were using AI effectively. Right? So where are you using AI? And then they say, "Oh, it helped me to tweak my resume, did this." But even when I looked at the answers, those are all very, very basic, right? In terms of what AI can do for them today. You have to, and this is the virtual assistant who is going to be working for you, and you tell her what to do. Has an intern taken your job away, Alejandro?
Has a who taken my job?
You have hired interns, right, to work for you?
We're planning on to.
In previous life, you have hired people who are interns or
I
your
have.
company hired,
I definitely have had interns, yes.
and have they taken your job away?
Um, no, they have not taken my job away.
So why do you think AI is going to take your job away?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what's up in the air, right? People, I think it's the uncertainty, right? That people that they get scared.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, actually, I myself is a good example where this what you just read here is an example, right? I like to fix processes, right?
yeah,
That's what I did at Davita. I fixed the process to the point where it became more automated, and they no longer needed me to perform that job. Granted, they offered me another position, but I just decided, to get into this space instead. But again, yeah, something automated did take over. But again, it was something though in my mind that wasn't a threat. It was something that made sense, right? That
yeah,
should have been automated in the first place. You know,
yeah.
yeah.
I'll
But
jump in. The
yeah,
job that the contract I applied for was doing photography to help train the AI to do better photography. So essentially, at some point here, the AI will not need the photographer at all.
Oh wow! So it was like a job where you're doing photography, and then the AI is learning from
Yep.
you.
yeah,
Is
And
that
I'm
is that what I'm hearing?
writing around what I'm doing and how I'm editing it. And then it
Wow.
uses that to enhance its skill to,
See now that as a photographer on the side that had a
yeah,
photography business on the side, right? Like for me, that is alarming. Like to me, that is a threat, right?
it
yeah.
is. It is a threat if you look at it that way. But flip that question and see, turn it around and say, yes, I can teach all these things to that, and it might get better at doing things. But at the end of the day, can it really understand when that person is not in a mood to take a picture, that how I approach them to lighten the mood to take a picture?
Yeah. And the AI isn't like on a robot quite yet to where it's
No,
moving around and all that
it
part
doesn't
of
understand the feelings.
the
It cannot.
human
Right.
Yeah,
perspective, but it'll get there. It seems
it'll
like.
get there, but why worry about it today?
No, no, I mean
Yeah. Right.
that's
Use,
Exactly.
why I was like, well, it pays pretty well. If I can get that, you know,
Yeah.
I'd be fine.
right? It is, and this is what I tell people. Now you cannot be thinking that AI is going to take the AI is going to take all the mundane tasks away from you.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely,
Yep.
no doubt about it,
Yep.
right? Now, where do you provide value? Where do you think you provide value? So if you were telling me that you were threatened, I'm just using you as an example, right? Workflows you were better and process and all those things. But at the end of the day, when the three hiring managers sitting in the room are fighting about it, AI can take a transcript and find out about it, but at the end, they do not know what that person, you have worked with that person for so long. You know what makes him tick, what makes this person tick, what makes this person tick. And you'll be able to put a workflow that can be a compromise between these three people,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
Because you are sitting in the room to create that, and you see these three high D people, they can't let go their ego. They're all fighting because they want their things to be incorporated, not what makes sense. They're all fighting about it. And you're sitting there, if you have an AI, it can analyze it. And now you add your thing on top of it, you can create a much better workflow. The AI could create generic one, but you could create that talks to these three people.
You can
Right?
take what it gives you and improve it too.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely. And the context of what it is, right? Hey, I'm Alejandro is a very process oriented person. Um, I had a gentleman that I worked with. Um, Jane worked with him too. He's his mind runs at 100 miles an hour. As we are talking, he's thinking about the next idea and he's branching out into that idea. We are here on a 3 hour meeting that he called for, talking about something. And within the first 10 minutes, he's distracted and he's off tangents trying to take. And if somebody doesn't bring him back, he is now taken another 6 hours talking about great ideas. And not all great idea. I'm not saying it's not, but we don't get anything accomplished.
Right.
How do you work with that person? How do you channel that energy that he has for your good? AI cannot do it.
Right.
But I can use AI to get some of the things and then channel it and then make it to fit him and what he needs to do and how he needs to. So as I was using AI, he's the one who turned me on to AI 2 years ago. As I used him as a use case. I've never told him this. I used him as a use case, and whenever he had a meeting with us, I knew it's not going to accomplish anything because. So I said, I'm having a meeting with this fellow and this fellow and this fellow, and this fellow is always is a great mind. He has no discipline and he's very disorganized and he may not let this meeting complete. How do I keep him track without offending him and just by asking the right questions? What should I do to make sure I keep him on track? And it gave me a bunch of ideas what I could do, how I could do what it. Do I know some of it? Yeah. But it also gave me some points that I never thought about, or I would never have thought about. Forget I. So that is where I think you all should be using AI to help you to get better with context, right? Solomon, if again, when you have interviews or anything like that, call me, please use me. I've offered this so many times. If you have an interview, if you know the job description, if you know the company, if you know the person who you're interviewing with, in this case, if it's a bot, that's okay, but I can give you some things, and knowing what that outcome is going to be, I would put that outcome and say, hey, here is an AI bot that I'd be training to take pictures, and he wants to learn. So I'm teaching. So there will be a lot of jobs like that, Solomon.
Yeah,
Uh,
no, it was all a whim, and then it just kind of presented the interview right as I put in the resume and whatnot. So I just ran with it. That was just
yeah, that's fine.
Friday, I think it was. But yeah, I'll reach out if I see another and I'm gonna jump on it, I guess. I'd be curious to your feedback. Appreciate that.
Yeah,
Yeah, Sam is great for that. I mean, that's what's awesome about having Sam here. You know, I mean, our sponsors have provided, for that. And I say, I mean, really, Sam, he does not hold back. He's willing to help anybody. And he's actually have met a few people, and yeah, Solomon, definitely take advantage of that. And Sam, do you have room for a couple of questions?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, yeah. So the first question really, and it might come around to maybe just again to your point, right? Utilizing AI to kind of fine tune your response to something, right?
Yeah.
And this actually this question is that, how do you tell an employer, when you've been at a job and you have actually been fired from that job? How do you tell a prospective employer, right? Prospective employer, why you're applying for this job when you already had this, amazing job for all these years?
Great question. What was the reason that they got fired?
Compliance,
Compliance. And if you can put
compliance violation.
compliance violation.
Yep.
Okay. Um, that's a real bummer because that is a lot of companies take that very seriously.
Mhm.
Now, how do you take that story and spin it in a positive light is something that I would be working on. And it may not come in the first iteration, and it might require some practice, it might require some belief, and it might require you to forget what happened in the past, right? Let bygones be bygones. You can be bitter, you can be, but that is a great example of what I tell people when they don't know how to explain their gaps, why they left the job, why they, and we are in corporate America. Tell me there might be very few percentage of people who never got fired,
Right?
or they knew they were going to get fired and they found another job.
Yeah.
It's, yeah, in this case, it was for cause that the compliance.
Mhm.
Now, how do you take that? There are two ways to deal with it. Hey, I absolutely made a mistake. Own up to it.
Right.
And but that mistake taught me a valuable lesson, and I've taken it to my heart. And I have made sure that every other job that I've done, I have adhered to it. I have it has made me a better person than what I was when I was in that job.
Perfect. Yeah.
So I have a kind of follow up on the same line of the question he asked, but change the last job to having been kind of having taken a leave and not having worked for a gap
Mhm.
due to the
Yeah.
narcolepsy or having a health matter like I mean I would think it's kind of a similar, own up to it, kind of explain, you need a time, but I'm curious if, what you might
That is
add.
the easiest way. That is what I have. If that person doesn't like that answer, even if you get the job and he finds out, you'll be in more trouble than you know it, right? But you can tell that the gap was there because I needed to take care of this, and this showed up, and I took care of it. I worked through it. I got over it. Now I'm done. And from that experience, I also learned some new skills, how to manage what I need to do, organize better, understand my high energy times, those type of things.
Yeah,
Anything that
Yeah.
that's the tricky, I mean, the tricky situation I'm in is like I've been unemployed for quite a long time. I've had many jobs, but I've hardly ever managed full-time work just due to my health being as complicated and kind of unpredictable as it's been. So it puts me in a difficult place. That's why I'm really trying to find something that I can mainly do on my own or do independently, remotely with not a full-time schedule, but ideally that pays enough that could, you know, allow me to sustain myself without
yeah,
overdoing it.
So great question, Solomon. One of the things that I don't know your personal situation, but if you send me something, we can work together. Where that is the part that I told you where you can practice and make it your own after some time. And so when you're giving them that answer, it becomes natural and it doesn't come out like, okay, he's trying to hide something, he's trying to do this. You own it and you know how to pass that hurdle and do what you need to do going forward. And that's something that will require you to practice a little bit. And that's probably the help that I can absolutely help you with some of those things where we will be able to go through doing a mock interview, 1, 2 sessions. We'll be able to say, you know what, here is what it is. This is what it is. This is how you can. And you can experiment it in the next interviews that you do, or if somebody calls you.
Okay. Yeah. No,
That
that
is
sounds good.
absolutely something that, again, I always tell people be truthful. Eventually, something will come out, right? But how do you explain it is all about how you are going to impress that person or not impress that person,
Yeah, I
right?
think it's I'm pretty honest and upfront about things, and
Yes,
I know my what I've been doing, so I think it won't be hard for me to articulate it, but to have done it a time or two and kind of laid it out in a sort of cheat sheet planner type thing, that will help a lot. So,
absolutely.
thank you.
And Alejandro, I'll ask you a personal question here. When he just mentioned that, what is that you gleaned from him?
Mentioning the his situation.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I well, that's the thing. I mean, it reminded me about many people I've met in his situation where they have this major gap, and of course where employers will look at that. And to me, I was thinking automatically. The first thing that was coming to my mind is how does he share that in his cover letter, right? Because again, when they're asking for your last employment, maybe it's 10 years ago, right? And really employers don't look past 5 7 years. That's typically the cutoff, especially if you're doing background checks. Something like the cover letter is where it's going to be at, where it's going to describe everything you've been doing, and how you can be an asset to the company of what you have been doing during this gap.
Hit the nail on the head. That's how, yes, this is what it is, but in the last few months, for a few things, I have done X, Y, and Z, and I think I have become more employable,
Yep.
and I've kept up with the latest trends.
Yep. Yep.
And and the one advantage you will have, Solomon, is I don't care if they've worked in the workforce for 20 years. This has scared the bazookas out of everybody. They are they are scared. So everybody probably is starting off at that level because everybody is a nervous interviewee,
Yeah.
right? What I have noticed, right? Because they don't know what it is. So the playing field is leveled in my sense, right? Yes, the employer might look and say, "Hey, what is it?" But if there is, and this is what happens sometimes, right? The other day, somebody was talking. They didn't realize that they are talking to somebody who has a son who goes through it. The hiring manager's son who has it, right? As they were discussing, do you think the guy got the job or not? The guy got the job
Nice.
because the hiring manager understands that situation
Mhm.
Could relate.
and knows what his son is going through, and he wants to give a fair shot to it. Yes, 9 out of 10 times it might not have worked out, but that one time, and you don't know which that one time is.
Mhm.
And I have gratitude to my mentor who taught me this 30 years ago. Say, Sam, the next phone call you take, Don't worry about the guy who didn't take the job. I know you're mad. Those things happen. And you lost money, the company lost money, your quota has gone up, you're done, right? But don't show that anger to the next person who you're on the phone. That could be your $1 million ticket to level up this last person. So he told me this lesson. Whether you wake up at 6 a.m. in the morning and take the first call at 6 a.m., 6:01, or you are at midnight, 11:59, when you pick up somebody's call, think like it is that $1 million that is chasing you and show up with full energy and passion and answer the call like you answered at 6 a.m. in the morning, the same way at 11:59 p.m. Right? And that is something I have absolutely tied as a mantra to myself and followed it. So I'll tell you a funny story that nowadays we don't do it, but when we used to leave voicemails for people on their home phones, not on cell phones, on their home phones, right? You come home, you're the what is that called? The answering machine. You go
Yeah.
messages and and I know most of us do delete, 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 right? Until you hear, um, somebody should tell me, hey, Alejandro, this is Sam. You do not know me. I'm calling you because I saw your resume. I think you're a great fit. Give me a call, right? Something different. Everybody's, oh, hey, Alejandro, this is Sam. I'm a recruiter. I, they don't have time. If they didn't like your voice, and more importantly, the energy that you left a message for, do you think you're going to return a recruiter's call when the recruiter's, hey, Alejandro, I saw your resume. I think give me a call. I have a project manager position open for you. Do you think are you calling him back? He himself doesn't have energy.
Right.
Hey, Alejandro, I saw your resume on LinkedIn. I think you might be a great fit for one of the jobs that I have. Give me a call, 732-742-2849.
Yeah.
Have a great day.
Mhm.
That's it.
Yeah.
And that is see what nowadays people are not doing voicemails, they're doing emails and text messages, and AI can help you to write compelling messages where people will open those messages and not delete them, right? And that's where the advantage is.
Yeah. That's great.
I gotta say the interview with the AI was like I would have had a lot more anxiety and like it would have been quite different. I feel like if it had been with an actual human, and I left that feedback because the last question was how did this AI versus human interview go for you? And I was like, well, probably would have been a little more laughter and humor with the human, but I had less anxiety and it was fine.
That's cool.
That's a good feedback,
Yeah.
right? That's a great feedback. I've heard the other side of it because it is not human. I didn't get the connection with that person. It would have been fun. I've seen some AIs which does that side of it too, Solomon. Right? I've seen AIs which do the human side also much better, and it plays jokes with you.
I'm
Yeah,
not
the whole
surprised.
interview went in like a completely different direction than the question that was like proposed as, getting ready for the interview. Like what it was going to be about was quite different than the direction it went, and it was fine.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it actually.
very cool.
All right. Well, hey,
Any
this
other
was
questions?
nope, that is it. I mean, this has been a really great conversation today, great workshop. For anyone that wasn't able to attend today, if you're part of our circle community, it is a private community. And so this is actually where we upload the entire video, so you get to watch it at your own pace. Which I love. I love watching stuff at my own pace because 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there, 5 minutes, whatever. It's all good. And of course, our next topic for November, a really good one. It's about how to detect fraud when you're looking for a job, those fraudulent scams. And when we actually have this, I'm going to share my story, how I got, they got me for $800. So I'll be explaining that one, how I fell for that one. But yeah, this is going to be another great topic to learn. Just how to protect yourself out there, especially as, again, with technology. I mean, unfortunately, we are seeing a lot of scams out there.
Now, one final thought on that part of it. I know we'll cover it next time, but one of the things that I will tell Alejandro is I've told people you need to have a passcode within your family, right? When voice calls come, it sounds exactly like Melissa,
Right?
and it will say, "Honey, I forgot. I'm at the ATM. I forgot my ATM pin number. Can you give it to me?" Right? And it sounds like her. It probably is her in your mind, and you're in middle of the meeting with your boss, and you are going through. Yeah, the pin number is 81967.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's scary. The spam bots and whatnot are
Yeah,
quite powerful these days.
yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yep.
And in 1 minute, this is the part like they're selling these things to people. Then 1 minute it can make 100 phone calls,
It's crazy.
Wow. Wow.
right? Imagine. So that 1 minute, in 1 minute, it is able to send 100 calls, and all 100 calls are being attended by 100 people. But here is one signal that was sent by AI to make those 100 phone calls. It's insane.
That is insane.
Yikes.
And let's say if you happen to be in Denver and you have a slang of Denver, and if you're talking to somebody in Alabama, it can adjust to those nuances of those people. I'll give an example. In India, if it even talks that language, if you it will convert into that Spanish or whatever you want, it will convert it in 1 second.
Wow. That's scary. When it comes to that, right? And how, the technology can be used, for negative things like that. That is scary and sad. But yeah, no, I'm excited for the next conversation. The next workshop's going to be great. Again, if you're not a part of our circle community, you can join just by going to our website, www.pwn4pwn.org. Click the join button right at the top menu bar, and boom, you'll be in. And then you can enjoy watching these videos, catch up. And again, like I said at the beginning of this video, I announced the Jobs Project program. Please, definitely love for you to take advantage of that with Udemy courses. And then also, getting to spend time with Sam, attending these workshops, meeting one-on-one with him. I think it's a great, great value. And then also the Health and Wellness 360 program alongside with Rise Up. It's going to be a great, great 26-week program. With that said, everyone have a great, great week. All right.
Thank you. Have a great
Thank
week.
you.
You
Do you
too. Thanks
follow
so much, Sam.
football?
Say
Do
that.
you follow football?
I do. Unfortunately, I mean, yes, I do. But unfortunately, my team is just not. Yeah, I'm a Raider fan, and
Oh, you're a Raider
boy,
fan.
oh
I thought
boy,
yesterday would have been a great night. Denver beating New York.
I know that was wild. How they came up like that. I mean,
They
I
wow.
they
saw that.
they
I
covered
saw a
33
replay of that.
points.
Yeah, big
Crazy.
time, big
That
time.
is, I was thinking about you. I did
Yeah,
not know you were a Raider fan, but
yeah. I was born and
great.
raised in San Francisco Bay Area,
Uh,
so definitely Oakland Raider fan. Well, now of course Las Vegas, but
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
See
All
ya.
right, everyone. Have a great night.
You too. Bye
You
bye.
too.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.